Hello, this is Brad Pluth from Dick's House of Sport, and this is a little intro to our adult golf programming. And a little bit about me, I've been teaching since 1998, graduate of Central College, played 3 years down there, enjoyed my time down there and spent a fair amount of time traveling around the country, playing and teaching, following a lot of instructors. I've been fortunate to work with like 168 top 100. Some of them have fallen off the list. Been around town here in Minneapolis for quite a while. I've been recently teaching at Twin Cities Orthopedic in Deer Run. Now I am at House of Sport with the awesome new technology with TrackMan and gears. So real quick, want to kind of throw this in there of why do you play golf? A lot of people think it's fun, competitive, make friends, challenges, cool clothes. I've heard that one before, usually from my young teens, but the real reason, actually, Eric Appenfeld, the director of instruction, a buddy of mine from Pinehurst, did a research project for the USGA, 20,000 people, and the real reason people play golf, just probably no surprise to you, is to strike the ball solidly. Number two was develop relationships, and actually number three was to enjoy the great outdoors. So I always think following or developing relationships is the real reason that we play golf, but hitting the ball solid is a great feel. So what is your goal? Are you just trying to get the ball off the ground, just starting out? We can help. You want to play your first round? I teach a lot of new golfers, all ages and ability levels, juniors, adults, seniors, kind of the whole gamut. I enjoy the variability and meeting people, frankly. Do you want to compete in your first tournament or corporate event or feel confident that you can get out and play? Love to help you with that too. Want to play with your spouse? Probably one of the more common reasons that I hear of why people take lessons. Or do you have a scoring goal of breaking 100, 90, 80, or par? So to me, as I've kind of coached for, again, since 1998, about 25 years now, there's 4 areas that every golfer can improve, and that's your natural movement patterns of your swing, purposeful practice and what you do in between rounds, your golfing mindset or what you think about before, during, and after shot, and your on-course strategy. Let's talk a little bit about this. So natural movement patterns, like every body moves differently. So I always look at how the player in front of me is my model. I don't teach from a biomechanics model. I look at what the player in front of me can do and try to design a golf swing and stroke that is best for them. So we always start with the ground and what is your best stance width. Everybody, believe it or not, needs a different grip because their hips are different speeds. So strong or fast hips need strong grips and slower hips need weaker grips. So there's a backswing track. Everybody's elbow and wrist hinge and fold differently. So there's different ways of generating power. There's a downswing slot. There's different core regions that golfers can use, but everybody finishes in a balanced swing that has a good long-term swing. So that's kind of the one stable, but everybody sets up different, everybody takes it back different, everybody brings it down a little bit differently, but everybody ends up with a balanced finish. So purposeful practice. This is one of the forms that I use. So I was able to get into a database of 20 million rounds and ask the question, what are the 10 most common shots? And statistically, there was no difference between 9 and 10. So 9's a lot easier to work with, 9's a better golf number. So there's short putting, distance putting, a couple wedge shots. You got like your close approach shots and then your finesse wedge shots. You got kind of a short approach, mid approach, and tee shots. And then ball control is a last one there as well, along with speed. We'll talk about that here in a minute. So what is purposeful practice? So purposeful practice has 4 parts. It must be specific and have a goal, whether it's trying to eliminate the ball going to the right, to the left. It needs to be focused. So whether it's an internal feel of your body or an external feel of the target, it needs to have a focus. And then you receive feedback. The ball go right, does it go left, go short or long? Those are basically the 4 options you've got. And then, is it challenging? So this is where it gets a little bit different in my approach, is I'm going to typically challenge my golfers just a little bit outside their comfort zone. And to me, that's the reason why golf golfers need coaches is to get them to the next level and push them a little bit outside of their comfort zone. So for purposeful practice to stick, or for a swing change to stick, how long does it take to develop a skill? I'll give you a minute to read those. And the research, according to UCLA and Stanford, says you need 1,500 correct repetitions. So that may be a little bit more or less than that 1,500 number, but it takes about 1,500 to develop a motor skill or habit. So interesting enough, guess how many balls Tiger Woods hit every day? 1,500. So if you look at that big bucket of balls, there's usually about 70 of those, or 70 balls in one of those big buckets at your local driving range. So he's hitting more than 20 of those every day. And he didn't miss days, and he definitely ground it out of the dirt. So the next thing I'd like to talk about is scoring mindset, or what do great golfers think about before, during, and after. Again, this is customized to the individual, but I just want to provide this framework for my students to make choices. So there needs to be an assessment phase. You're going to assess the lie, determine the conditions, determine the playing yardage before selecting a club, and then you need a trustworthy rehearsal stroke before you walk through that front door to your action phase. Okay, so again, there's lots of ways of doing that, but generally those are the steps that you need to take. And then in the action phase, do you see the target shape and trajectory, or see it, feel it, trust it? Big fan of Dr. Cook. And then eyes to target, blade to ball, eyes back to the target, build your stance. You need a swing thought that's usually not related to your swing, because awareness creates tension. Now that may sound weird not having a swing thought, but something like jelly beans or ocean makes a great swing thought. Some people sing Mary Had a Little Lamb, Greg Warren for that one. And then the reinforcement phase. This is where champions are made. So most people just hit it and go, oh, that was so terrible, that was bad, whatever. But really the three questions you want to ask after a shot are, was it good, was it great, or does it need work? If it needs work, what solution do I need? That puts you in position to make a choice on how to improve. And then you would imprint your performance. If it was a poor performance, you'd make the adjustment. I swung too far to the left, too far to the right, whatever it was. Make the adjustment, move on, so you can have a clear picture and a clear assessment going into the next shot. Our on-course performance, and yes, we can do on-course coaching with TrackMan and the bays. I always start everybody off with a simple scorecard that's looking at 4 stats. So it's pretty easy. These 4 stats should add up to your total score, but it's how many tee shots you take, how many approach shots you take, how many wedge shots, and how many putts. If you want to get fancy, you could write down your distances for each of these, your tee shots, maybe the shape if you want, approach shots, what distance did you have, wedge shots, your starting distance if you had to hit it twice, we want to avoid that. And then putts, what was your first putt distance? And if you missed a putt, what side of the hole did you miss it on? So you'll start seeing some tendencies. But those 4 parts on each hole should add up to your total score. And I believe golfers do not argue with their own data. They just need to know what to look for. So this is a simple chart of describing if you want to be a tour player, that's an awfully high standard, but it may surprise you that they actually hit it about 18 feet away from the hole on average from 100 yards. Okay? Whereas the 18 handicap hits it about 48 feet, 49 feet away from the hole on average. Okay? So realistic expectations definitely helps. But again, we can use TrackMan. I've built a few different assessments. If you want to come in and just try the assessments, feel free to do that. But there's basically assessment for tee shots, approach shots, and wedge shots. So this is a training cycle or improvement cycle that I have found to be very effective. So if you're a beginning golfer, typically you start with a 60-minute discovery session or a new student assessment, and then where we'd benchmark your skills, teach you how to practice with a purpose, and then get you out on the golf course to look at your stats, and then build another program and do it again. So the cycle kind of keeps repeating: lesson, benchmark your skills, practice with a purpose, and play. Okay. If you're an intermediate or advanced golfer, then maybe breaking 80 would be an intermediate golfer, breaking 90 let's get on the golf course and play and see where you are taking your strokes, kind of some strategy sessions, and see how we can lower your strokes. Sometimes you can lower your stroke or lower your score, not by changing your swing, but just by changing your mindset. Lastly, one of the big reasons that I chose to come to House of Sport is their technology. We have Gears technology, which is, it'll show where you strike it on the face. It'll give me all kinds of metrics to measure. It's the only system that measures the ball, the club, and your body simultaneously. There's a lot of systems out there like TrackMan that measure the ball and the club, but Gears does a little bit of everything. All right. TrackMan provides a lot of great simulation and play, and it's a great feedback tool. So the programs that we are offering currently, again, these prices are subject to change, but as of today, private coaching, I recommend starting, see if we're a good fit, $79.99 for a new student assessment, 3 hours, 6 hour, and 10-hour packages. We do some club fitting for every club in the bag, including putter. And then if you want to come out for bay rentals, you can do that as well. We do offer a 10-week floating league for $350. Pretty good deal. For 10 playing sessions, that includes the rental time as well. We're also selling rental packages for 3, 6, and 10 hours. Soon we're working on developing the ultimate fitting experience for being able to using gears to fit your swing, your clubs, your shoes, your ball, and your glove. So if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call. I'm happy to chat. We're a free 15-minute phone consultation at 952-401-4653. So if you're wondering what is a 10-week training cycle look like, here is a quick sample training cycle. So everybody starts with a new student assessment, identify your goals, strengths and weaknesses, and start building a plan. Week 2, start building those natural golf swing blueprint, and then look at purposeful practice or the games, drills, and exercises you need to get better. Start building that golfing mindset, which is also kind of a playing lesson. And then tempo training, doing that ties everything together. On-course strategy, again, another playing lesson. So you can kind of see the cycle from playing to practice to playing to practice, kind of fitting in here. And then a club fitting, if you choose, again, as a sample. These are customized individuals, just giving you a few ideas of what to expect in a 10-session package. Week 9, maybe short game, which would be wedges and putting. And then week 10, we always conclude with a playing lesson experience to talk about course strategy and ways that you can get better both on and off the course. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you soon.